We're here at Goodison Park at the plaques to the fallen of the First and Second World War of the Everton players who gave the ultimate sacrifice. The Shareholders Association placed these plaques here in 2011. The names that are on there are not complete, and it is hoped that by the time we move to Bramley Moor Dock, we will be able to include all of the names of all of the fallen from the First and Second World War. Two people here, Frank Boundy and Malcolm Fraser, formed the Everton Club in Chile, and you will see at the top of the plaques there it says about the Everton Club of England and Chile. We're here today to talk about Donald Sloan. Donald was born in Rankinston in Ayrshire on the 31st of July 1883. He was one of 12 children, 9 of whom survived to adulthood. Donald played initially for his hometown of Ayr, before moving on to Belfast Distillery of Lisbon. He played for Distillery from 1903 to 1906. Whilst he was playing for Distillery in Belfast, he represented the League of Ireland in a fixture against the English League, which was played at Manchester City's Hyde Road ground on the 14th of October 1905. That representative game was filmed by Mitchell and Kenyon, who were pioneers in documentary filmmaking. It was whilst he was representing the League of Ireland at that game that Donald was brought to the attention of the Everton directors, 2 of whom attended the match. They were suitably impressed by Donald's appearance in that game, and an initial offer was made but was rejected by Belfast Distillery. However, a further offer was made of £250, and that was accepted. Donald signed for Everton on the 24th of April 1906, just 3 days after the club had won their first FA Cup at Crystal Palace. They beat Newcastle United 1-0 with a goal scored by Alex Sandy Young. Billy Scott, who played in the FA Cup final, was in possession of the goalkeeper's jersey at Everton at that time. So Donald's appearances for Everton were limited to just 2 appearances in the 1906-07 season and 4 appearances in the 1907-1908 season. Following that, he crossed the park and joined Liverpool, where he made just 6 appearances for the Reds before he moved back over to Belfast Distillery. Whilst at Distillery, during his second spell, he won the Irish Cup in 1909-10 season. Following his spell at Belfast Distillery, he moved back to Scotland and played for Bathgate and East Stirlingshire before retiring from his playing career. He subsequently went on to become a miner. After war was declared, Donald enlisted in Glasgow, joining the Royal Highlanders, more commonly known as the Black Watch, as Private S9311. He arrived in France on the 2nd of October 1915, thereby earning his 3 medals. The 3 medals which were the 1914-15 Star, the British War Medal and the Victory Medal. Sadly, Donald wasn't to see the end of the First World War, as he was killed in action on the 1st of January 1917, New Year's Day, when he and 4 of his colleagues were killed in action with heavy mortar fire fired by the German artillery, and he now rests at Faubourg de Amiens Cemetery in Arras at grave 3A32. Donald was one of 4 brothers who were killed in the First World War, a story that a good friend of mine, Peter Jones, once described as enough to bring a tear to a glass eye. The first of Donald's brothers to die was Robert Sloan of the 10th Battalion of the Canadian Infantry. Robert was killed in action on the 22nd of April 1915 during the Second Battle of Ypres. He now is recorded on the Menin Gate alongside 54,000 other names of those soldiers who have no known grave. His brother William Sloan, of the 2nd Tunnelling Company of the Canadian Infantry, was killed in action, probably whilst tunnelling on the 28th of June 1916. He now rests at Railway Dugouts Burial Ground in Belgium. His brother Thomas Sloan, of the 1st Battalion of the Scots Guards, he was killed in action on the 15th of September 1916 at the Battle of the Somme. His name is now recorded at the Thiepval Memorial in France. And as we heard before, Donald was killed in action on New Year's Day, 1st of January 1917, the 4th of 4 brothers who were lost in the Great War. You'll notice that there are only 7 names on the plaques here at Goodison Park. Due to recent work carried out by the Everton Heritage Society, we now have 18 names, 13 from the First World War and a further 5 from the Second World War, of former players who made the ultimate sacrifice. And it is hoped that when we move to Bramley Moor Dock, that those names will be commemorated appropriately at the new stadium.